Basketball, you betcha. I'm back. It's the Daily Trainer, ready to give you what you need, guaranteed to succeed in the game that you love to play each and every day. So, getting into these workouts. I got my man Spence back in the gym once again, and I know you guys want to see a variety of players, and I'll slowly introduce you to each one as they keep coming through the gym. Spencer is somebody I want you to see the progression on. Right here, we are working on just our full speed dribble pull-ups, right? The game is fast. The game will continue to be fast as the game becomes more high scoring, more of entertainment. Everyone is following the lead of the NBA. So we want to make sure my man is understanding his footwork, understanding how to pound that basketball and get under the basketball when he's getting ready to get set for his jump shot. Being on balance and making sure it's on target. A lot of things can happen in between that bounce with your footwork, with how your ball is placed, the set point, the release, how you're holding the ball. Basketball and shooting have so many little variables that can change everything. So you just want to make sure when you are prepping or you're working out, it's the details that you're focusing on. That is always the biggest thing in anything that you're going to do while you're preparing. So with these different drills, even though he's not being guarded, he's just kind of working what he's going to get in a game, right? And sometimes you will get a one dribble pull up. You will get a shot fake dribble pull up. But sometimes you got to put that ball on the ground a little bit more. And so what I was showing him here was just giving him an opportunity to understand, like, you're not going to be able to drive straight line. You're not going to be able to just drive by somebody. You have to understand that sometimes you're going to have to go laterally, and you're going to have to understand how to do your footwork that way. And although you get to your spots, a lot of times, even when you get to your spots, you're going to have to make that counter. And so we're working on all those different things here. And really, a lot of times when I'm watching him, the biggest thing that I'm looking for is that fade. He has a tendency to fade because he has a tendency to put that foot forward in front of him. And there's a power and a push that he has that leans him to the right side a lot. And he fades more when he's playing against somebody because he's worried about getting blocked. So as we go through this phase of footwork, the next progression is to now shoot over me, right? You want to be able to shoot over me because he's a shorter player. So even though he's keeping the game basic, he's going to have to figure out how to utilize his ability to shoot the basketball and be effective when he is a focused target on the defensive end. So a lot of you guys probably shoot the ball well, and you guys probably score the ball well when you're not the main option. When you become the main option at some point, that's when you have to kind of figure out different things in your game. So you don't want to plateau as just being a spot up shooter, and then when you can't spot up shoot, there's nothing to do after, right? You can't put the ball on the ground. You don't know how to pass. You don't know where the ball's supposed to go. You don't know how to pass and move without the ball, all those different things. So right now, we're not talking about all of that because we did talk about that in different practices when he was being coached by me. And there's videos and different things that I sent him on that. And we also have videos on that you can check out with just like learning how to move without the ball and just other skills that you can work on here on Basketball U. Now, one thing that Spence does that most people don't do is he tries to go through every rep almost like it's game speed. And sometimes I have to tell him to slow it down because he's missing the concept of focus, right? Our misconception of what we are doing with basketball is just rep it out, just rep it out, just rep it out. I shot the ball 1,000 times, so I'm definitely becoming a better shooter. That is not the case. And no one is telling you don't work hard, and no one is telling you don't shoot 1,000 shots if you have the time to do so. But shoot the right type of shots. And when I'm talking about the right type of shots, I'm talking about with the detailed focus of what you're supposed to do so you can be consistent. There are so many inconsistent people, and there's so much lack of data with basketball training. With basketball training, unless your person or your parent or whoever is keeping track of what you're shooting every day, like a college program or some high school programs with different technology and 50 people around the court taking stats, you're not going to understand really what your results are just based off of you making shots and feeling good about them. So that is something that we've got to start pulling cards on. Are you really making players better as trainers, right? And I'm not trying to attack a trainer or anything like that. I'm just saying in general. And now when we look at things, are players getting better to progress in what style they play in too? Because you're working them out, but then they go play in a game and they don't get to dribble the ball. They don't get to catch and shoot. They don't touch the ball. So now you're doing all this working out and they're never getting the basketball. And it's partly because they're not meant to get it. So how do we get them to basketball and how do we make them successful? In Spence's case, he does touch the basketball a lot and he's going to get ran off the three the majority of the time. So a lot of it is, can you aggressively attack and then create the space, right? With the aggression allows you to create because there's an unknown of what you're going to do unless you've done the same thing over and over again. So that's basically what I tell Spence when he's playing, and that's just a small gem. And again, I'm not giving him a whole bunch of moves. I'm giving him one or two here just to put a little something in his bag. What he likes to do, and I like this about Spence, is he likes to play around with his shot sometimes just to kind of get a feel of what the different footwork would be, if he hops, if he steps, if he shoots the ball a little bit higher, if he just chucks it up quickly. I like my players to experiment, and I don't want to just tell them no every time that they do something different because I don't know what the game is going to bring them. And I always talk about taking what the game gives you. And so for Spence, right now, we're just more understanding the variables of the game and how can we be consistent on what the game gives us. So that's what I want for him. And in the drill where I have him dribbling up to the three, kind of waving his dribble, it's almost like he dribbled too deep and he's waving it back to make a read, and then he's going to shoot the basketball. So, I mean, that's really all we did on both sides. And, you know, we always get layups in, we get our floaters in, and then we do a little discussion more to kind of get a feel of how he feels as a player. I think it's so important that you understand how a player feels when training and not just go into the session with a thought of everybody's ready to work, because he might be tired that day. So you might have to modify your workout based on that. But Basketball U, as I appreciate you always coming through just to check out a little bit of information I need to give you. Remember, you can copy any of these workouts. You can do all of these workouts. That's why I'm putting it out here for you. Free of charge. There is no cost. There is no membership fee. There isn't anything you got to pay. You just come say hey in the comments and you go ahead and check out these workouts and then ask any questions that you want. And remember, someone's always working. Are you?